Thanksgiving, when I could be watching football, I'm having Rouse's Market do all my cooking. It's easy and I know it's going to be good because it's Rouse's. You can still order your complete Thanksgiving dinner at any Rouse's Market. Place your order in store and Rouse's Markets Deli will take care of everything. All you have to do is heat and eat. Rouse's Markets feels like home.
Thanks for calling Toyota. This is Jan.
Hey, Jan, Toyota phone. Is it on?
It is. Now's the time to find year-end deals on Camry, RAV4, the all-new Tundra, and more.
Great. It's officially the holidays.
I gotta sneeze.
So you base your family's
The
holiday
fans
schedule.
are Bobby, the floor is yours.
Well, closes the score. I mean, no, who that nation. When I look at it, I don't know. We have to fall behind. Why can't we play a number of fans, who that nation members? They say, why don't we play in the fourth quarter for maybe the first three quarters, or to start out the game? You can't dig yourself a hole and expect to have a miraculous comeback in the National Football League. Now, it can happen, but you're behind the eight ball when that occurs. To me, it wasn't even as close as the score, 40-29. I mean, when they possessing the football, doing what they want to do, really, and you might say they got a little conservative, and the Eagles fans let them know about it as far as what they were doing in the second half offensively. But I said this before the game. The Eagles were outstanding on third down offense, running the football. Well, they end up, Christian, if I look at, they ran 77 plays, and they were on pace to have well over 80, the way that first half was going. They end up on third down. This is never good. They were 12 of 21, 57%. So the Eagles won in that category. So if you're converting on third down, that stands to reason that they had the ball 14 minutes more, 37 to 23 minutes, basically, when you break it down. I think red zone, they had one of the top red zone offenses. We were kind of so 50%. They end up being 2 of 4. But I said this before the game, and I talked to Deuce about this. Whether you stop in the run or not, and they got Jalen Hurts, the way their offense is structured, they're going to run the ball. They're going to have 39 rushing attempts. 39 plus. Well, they end up having 50. And they ran for 242 yards, 50 rushing attempts. 50, 50, not 40, not 30, 50, and they average almost 5 yards an attempt. And it just goes to show you the NFL is very humbling. We were number one in the National Football League, giving up only 73 yards a run. The last 3 games, we're only giving up 57 yards. But the Eagles fans say, but you haven't played the Eagles. You haven't played the Eagles rushing attack. Well, you'd have to give them credit because that's how they won. We're not good enough to never win the turnover margin. Now we're +3 for the season. We're -2 for the game. No, in this type of game, we needed to be +2 for the game. I thought Christian Ringo, that was significant. Look at, you talk about field position, flipping the field. You had a short field, to say the least. Christian Ringo, he had that forced fumble recovery. He ended up having 5 tackles. He also had a tackle for a loss. That's an unsung hero coming out of nowhere. I thought Davenport was outstanding. Christian, I don't know, maybe the way they play the game, this is promising as far as his production. He had 10 total tackles. It's not a linebacker, it's a DN. 6 unassisted, a sack and a half, 4 quarterback hurries, a tackle for a loss. A double D. Christian, I'm looking at DeMario Davis. I'm looking, where does he even show up? Christian, you have to go way down the stat line, only 1 tackle. When you're playing a team that wants to run the ball, I don't think that's good. That is not getting it done. Now, Quan Alexander was active. He ended up having 7 total tackles, 6 unassisted. But our defense has to play great bottom line. They just can't be good. We're going to be not efficient on offense. It's just the way it is right now. And, some fans will say, well, why don't we put in Taysom Hill? Well, Taysom Hill right now is dealing with a head injury. You might say, well, can he play? I think he could play, but Sean's probably thinking when he's going to be available throughout the season. Then he's dealing with an ankle-foot injury. So it was almost like emergency would be the only case in point if Taysom Hill would have went into the game. So you have to live with Trevor Siemian. I think this might have been his poorest game, especially in the first half. Christian, he had a couple of interceptions. When you look at it, 22 of 40, basically a 50% passer. That's not good enough. One guy I thought that played better and given opportunities, but I don't know. Is he hurt now with his knee? Adam Troutman. Then he go to the locker room. So who that nation? I'm looking at Troutman, 5 catches, 58 yards. That's what I would expect from him as our tight end. He had a touchdown catch, and I was looking at this. It was 3rd and goal. Remember, we were going backwards. It was 3rd and goal, the 18-yard line. Trevor Troutman to make it 14-7. That might have been the play of the season so far. As I thought we'd have to settle for a field goal. So I thought Troutman stepped up big time. Deuce had said this earlier. He's a little over 100 yards now total from scrimmage. That being Mark Ingram. I don't know if you can ask for anything more. He averaged 5.5 yards a carry. We only had 22 attempts for 109 yards, 5-yard average, but we were playing catch-up, so we couldn't run the ball 30 to 35 times because you're trying to play catch-up. But Ingram ended up with 113 total yards, so I think that's what you're going to get out of Ingram right now. And if Kamara, when he comes back, we don't even need that much, but you're not going to get 150 yards. You're not going to get that type of production out of Mark Ingram when all said and done. If you look at it, Christian, now we've lost playing in Philadelphia. We've now lost 3 games in a row at Philly. We're 4-11 all time, and in Philadelphia. But the one time we did beat them in the playoffs when it counted, but Coach Payton has had success against the Eagles overall, but not today. I think it was a very humbling game. Our backs were to the wall, but it is the NFL. And look, who would have thought the Colts go to Buffalo and they crush them in Buffalo? So they're going to be an angry team coming Thursday night. But you never know. Now our back is truly to the wall. The next 2 games, Thursday against Buffalo and Dallas. So it'll be interesting to see how we respond. Like I said, our backs are to the wall. We're 500. Christian, I even said when the season's going to unfold now, I really thought we'd have to beat a team like Philadelphia that truly, because even before the Titans game, I said, well, I don't know if we beat the Titans. We got to beat Philadelphia. We probably won't beat Buffalo or Dallas. Now we'd be 1-3. Well, now we're 0-2 in that stretch, and you have to win one of these games. You have to beat either Buffalo or Dallas, I think, and you still can see a little light at the end of the tunnel. And what I mean by that, I really thought, now when you get people back, it doesn't matter who's playing, that we could be a 6-6, and we're 5-5 right now. We could be a 6-6 team, or even 7-7, and you can't give up the ghost. Because you look how you close out the season. We got the Dolphins here on Monday night, and then you finish in the season within the division. When you're playing, we got Carolina at home. Then we got to finish with the Falcons on the road. So you might go on a run. But by losing this game to Philadelphia, Christian, I don't know how we get to 10 wins. This is me trying to say we can get 10-7. Now I'm thinking best case scenario, and I'm just playing the percentages here, kind of 9-8. That might be good enough to be the 6th seed in the playoffs, whatever. But it's kind of like what we thought, dealing with all the injuries and the suspension to David Onyemata, and just we've had more bad luck than I thought was going to occur. So this is going back to the beginning of training camp. I kind of thought 9-8, 8-9, maybe 10 wins. But right now, I would say the way we're playing and not winning the turnover battle, not taking away the football, we're not going to get to 10 wins. We're not opportunistic enough. We need to truly be a dominant defense, not a good defense or a very good defense at times. We have to be dominant on the defensive side of the ball and take it away. And we're not doing that because our offense is not good enough. It is what it is. You look at the weapons and how we're going to win games. We have to have what occurred when we got the fumble. And now I didn't think we were going to get a touchdown there. Remember when Ringo? We got 1st and goal to 6. And then all of a sudden we're going backwards. We still went forward to get a touchdown. Then I thought the officials missed one call when they blew the whistle a little too quick as far as punching it out. They said forward progress, so they blew the whistle. But those are the kind of breaks that we need to go our way to truly come out on top. I think that we're not going to be favored against Buffalo, even though we're playing in the Dome. We're not going to be favored against Dallas. But who knows? The way the NFL is this season, we could shock the world, who that nation, and take care of Buffalo Thanksgiving night and in Dallas on Thursday. But one game at a time. You beat Buffalo, then you're feeling better about yourself because now you're not 500. You're one game above 500. But a very disappointing, disheartening loss, especially not how you played in the second half, but how you started the game in the first half. It was embarrassing and digging yourself too big of a hole to actually have a chance for a great comeback. Now, the penalties, we only had 3, so that's a bright, maybe it might be the crew. They only called 9 penalties. I like that kind of game.
Last week it was 17.
Yeah, so always cut that in half. 8 or 9 penalties, I think the fans can live with that. They called 3 against 6 against Philly. So the penalties didn't even come into play. But the turnover margin, -2, definitely came into play when all said and done. Now it's 2 games in a row. Have we stopped Jalen Hurts from running the football? I don't think so. He said, well, look at Randall Cunningham, all the great players they've had with the Eagles, and the quarterback position, but running the football, Jalen Hurts has a nose for the football. But Christian, I think Dennis Allen would say that this is an embarrassing situation, and Coach Payton, the defense would say this is embarrassing to actually give up 242 yards rushing and basically 5 yards an attempt. They would say, no, we're supposed to have the number 1 run defense. Well, the Eagles said not so fast, and they ran it down our throats when they needed to.
They just match up well with the Saints. I'm talking about the Eagles.
Well, and that happened last year. That happened last season when you're looking at the matchups and them wanting to run the football, and they were able to do that, Christian. If you look at it, the Saints had only allowed 2 teams since 2017 to rush for more than 100 yards. Well, there was Washington this season, but the Eagles last year and the Eagles this year. When we lost to the Eagles in 2020, it was the worst game for the run defense since 2014. We gave up last year. Christian actually did better than we did last year. But look, you don't think this is an average? We gave up last year 246. We gave up this year 242.
Well, they would have had 244 had they not had those two kneel downs.
But Christian, the point I'm making, that's the same thing. 246 yards, 242. The bottom line, the Eagles said, like, man, okay, you might be the number one run defense, but you ain't played us yet. And we're going to see how you're going to stop us. So a very disappointing loss, 40-29. To me, the score was closer than the game should have actually even come about. The Saints kept fighting, but you still lost. It doesn't matter if you lose by 1 point, you lose by 4 touchdowns. It was a very humbling loss again. And now the Saints got to bounce back, considering Christian, no one has won more games than the Saints the last 4 seasons, but now they've lost 3 in a row for 2021 season.
That's a wrap for Bobby Hebert's rant. Get to your calls next. We are just getting started here on the point after. Saints fall 40-29 on the road against the Philadelphia Eagles. This is the point after on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.